Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Malicious Compliance Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and help me get to that 10,000 subscriber mark. In our first story, after being in an accident, our OP leaves a message that she won't be into work, but since she didn't speak to the right person, is told to show up or be fired. Okay, well, when the walking wounded show up at work, it does make an impression. Let's jump right in. This story is a decade old, but another title reminded me of it. I was 18 and worked at a gas station. I was the type of employee that you could always rely on to cover someone else's shift. People would text me directly, and I would let the manager know when I showed up I was covering for so-and-so. I also owned a 50cc scooter to get to work since it was nearby. One night I'm riding my scooter, hit a pothole, and hit pavement. Immediate pain. My face jumps out at me first. It feels like half the road now lives in the left side of my face. I try to sit up, feeling various scrapes, and realize my boob is stuck to my bra. A passerby calls an ambulance. EMTs think I somehow got a third-degree burn on my boob when I try to pull down my shirt. I take it off and they see all of my skin scraped into my bra. It's excruciating. I go to the hospital mostly because my helmet was actually a bicycle helmet. I didn't know it came with the scooter, and they're worried about a concussion. They have to keep me up until I get checked out by the doctor who isn't there yet. I realize around 1 a.m. that I'm not fit for work in the morning. Not wanting to wake up my bosses, I call the store and talk to the overnight employee. I tell them to tell the manager when they come in that I can't come in and will drop off a doctor's note when I can. Around 6 a.m., I'm allowed to go home, drugged up but concussion-free. When I get home, I think I might try to start unraveling. I go to the bathroom and strip. I'm covered in scrapes and bruises. I have a giant bandage taped over my left boob that goes up to my collarbone. My face looks like someone glued loose gravel with red glue, and it got close enough to cause a black eye. I say flip it. Throw in a comfy tank and some shorts, trying my best not to have fabric over anything uncomfortable. I've been awake 24 plus hours. I'll deal with the carnage after I sleep. 2 hours later, I wake up to my mom screaming. I come out and she thrusts the phone at me. My assistant manager is now screaming at me. She said I can't tell another employee I'm calling out. I should have called her. She said if I wasn't there in 15 minutes, I was fired. She had a spa day with her mom planned and was not canceling to cover my shift. I hang up and ask my mom, what the flip? Apparently, I didn't hear my phone and she answered, recognizing my assistant manager's name. She planned on explaining about my accident, but when she answered, the assistant manager assumed it was me and immediately started yelling. My mom got heated, yelling, "She was in an accident. How dare you yell instead of asking if she was okay? She could be dead and you are yelling." So I told my mom, "She wants me there in 15 minutes. What say you drive me up there?" I grab my doctor's note and we're off. I walk in the building like crap on a stick. Despite having multiple pairs, I wear my broken glasses. Unintentionally, I realize as I walk down the length of the store, I've developed a limp due to my left side being flipped. I didn't brush my hair. It's a wild mane that replaces my normal neat ponytail. Every minor abrasion on full display, the chest bandage clearly outlined in my tank top. I see both manager and assistant as they see me. I lock eyes with the assistant and stare her down as I close the distance. My manager stutters out the question of, "What am I doing there?" I turn my attention to him. The assistant manager said if I wasn't here in 15 minutes, I was fired. I'm here, so do I still have a job? After he assured me that of course I did, and to go home and rest, I gave him my doctor's note with the hand that scraped from wrist to halfway down my pinky. I turned to the assistant. I told the overnight person I'd bring in my doctor's note. Next time though, I'll be sure to call you at 1 a.m. if I need to, right? Seeing the look exchanged between the two, what I knew had been confirmed. Her calling me was her doing, and my manager didn't know what was happening. I'm sorry about your spa day. If you'll excuse me, they didn't let me sleep until my x-rays came back. I'm exhausted. I left feeling as good as you can feel with road rash. In story 2, when the new creative writing exam said to write from the point of view of any character, these students did. They were failed for not choosing lead characters in the story, but it did say any character. Many moons ago, I was part of a malicious compliance, so here it goes. The background. The summer before I entered high school, the Ministry of Education decided to change the standardized testing they used for entry to universities. It had happened in the past, and usually it took a year to implement changes, but this plan was really complicated and needed 2 years to implement. Laymen like you and me can't comprehend. It's called throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Guess which class got to be the lab rats? Yep, mine. We started school with only a vague idea of what the changes would be until mid-October. Then we learned that the first changes will be implemented on the midterms. The midterms used to be 2 weeks and provided 40% of the final grade, but the new plan was a full month and count for only 20% towards the final grade. Also, a major player for the malicious compliance was our literature teacher. Let's call her Karen. Now, I have to admit she was good at her subject. The problem in her teaching came from prejudice and preconceptions. With a 25-person class, she used to work with only 4 or 5 of the students. To be specific, kids from upper-class families or the best part of town. The rest of us were just background for her. A few of the parents had complained, but due to reasons we learned later, she was always engaging during inspections and so she kept her job. The malicious compliance. It's midterm time, and we have one of the new tests. It's creative writing. Now, as I said, this was one of the new tests. The ministry had sent general instructions for the tests, but left the specifics to each school. So for this one, Karen set the specifics. The general instructions for this one asked the teachers to pick a book from the syllabus and the pupil to write at least 800 words from the point of view of one of the characters. Karen had a hard-on for epics, so she chose the Iliad, expecting everyone to pick a hero. Everybody did except for 3 of us, JK, Indy, and myself. I don't know if we wanted to rebel against the system or against Karen, but the 3 of us didn't follow the norm. Now, JK was a really good student, but had the usual trouble in Karen's class. She chose Andromache, the wife of Hector. She described the last day of Hector from Andromache's point of view. My friend Indy is a mythology buff. He became an archaeologist, that's why Indy, and absolutely hated Karen's teachings of the material. He picked Zeus. He basically wrote Zeus's point of view, noticing every female named in the Iliad and describing his horniness. Me, I chose Cassandra. She had the gift of prophecy but the curse of never being believed. I went the whole POV thing. We're all doomed and never believed. The results come out and we are the only ones that failed, 8, 7, and 7 out of 20, because we, according to Karen, completely missed the point of the test. But the aftermath. Unbeknownst to everybody except the principal, the ministry had sent instructors to grade the tests independently of the teachers. They published their grades and 3 particular tests had huge grade discrepancies. So one misty morning, the 3 of us are called to the meeting room. Inside is our principal, a clearly fuming Karen, and 3 people we don't know. They introduce themselves as part of the Ministry of Education. They want us to explain why did we choose those characters. We all said, it said any character, so we chose one we liked. Every time we said that, they glanced at Karen. They thanked us, told us that the grade results they gave us will go towards our final grade. Karen had inspectors dropping in on her unexpectedly. As I said in the beginning, she had passed the local ones for a very good reason. She was having an affair with the assistant director of the local education department, and he had always notified her before the inspection. Now, since these inspectors came directly from the ministry without any advance notice, she was unprepared. She was allowed to finish out the year, but was then dismissed. The ministry took a year and a half to figure out their new system. We were the first class to officially take the new standardized test. Creative writing was part of the literature exam. JK became a journalist and a writer. Indy became an archaeologist. As for me, I'm in here. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.